About to walk into the court. Here we go. No, not Mr. Master. No, Master. I'm Master, not Mr.
You're Master.
Yes, that's correct. And
So if I call you Stephen Vessel, that's who you are?
Yes.
You're not Mr. Vessel, you're Master Vessel.
That's correct.
What's Master Vessel?
Master is because I'm the master of my own domain.
Yes, all right. Well, Master Vessel, normally in a legal sense, Master refers to a child. But you're not saying you're a child, you are saying
A child of God.
A master in another sense. All right.
Child of God.
All right, Master Vessel.
I surrender the person in question into the court, and by handing such documentations, I place the prosecutor here as the trustee, and he will now accept his fiduciary duties. I now stand here with my nationality, which has been appointed by the plea. Not a citizen, I'm a national, Commonwealth national. And we've got an issue here under the Property Law Act, 1986, Section 23.
Stay on for a moment, please, Master Vessel. There are a number of matters listed for hearing today, and what's listed for hearing, Sergeant? I'm just having a look at the merit point disqualified, and a that appears, yes, that appears to be the matter. Master Vessel, there's a charge of driving demerit point disqualified. That's listed for a hearing today. Sir, what do you want to do with that charge today? Are you guilty or not guilty?
Cannot enter a plea until I establish a few basic understandings here.
Could I just ask you again, Mr. Old Master Vessel, are you intending to plead guilty to this charge today? Please just answer that yes or no.
I cannot answer no plea because I cannot bow down before false God.
All right, I'll enter a plea in due
Objection, you cannot enter a plea on my behalf as a higher court ruling
Master
versus...
Vessel, can you just wait a moment?
Oh no, I cannot wait. Have you got your writ of commission?
Master Vessel, thank you. I will show respect to you, sir, and to these beliefs that you are apparently putting forward to the court, but I do expect that you will also show respect.
I cannot show respect to false...
human being.
A human being? Very well. Are you standing there then as a man?
Thank you.
And not underneath your oath?
All right. I'll stand this matter down for the moment. I've got other matters I need to look at here for the moment. Master Vessel, will you just either wait in the back of the court or just outside the court, sir? And I'll call your name again shortly. Thank you.
That's right. I've just been appointed to the jury.
Days return. The written requirements are 19 today between Sarah and Prosecutor. I now surrender the person to the court, and I'll now appoint the prosecutor as trustee and for the fiduciary duties of the said such person.
Now, are you Stephen Robert Vessel?
I'm Master Stephen.
If somebody was talking about Stephen Robert Vessel, were they talking about you?
But we're talking about the person I just surrendered into the court.
Well, the other person who's able to speak on behalf of Stephen Robert Vessel is Stephen Robert Vessel. So do you identify as being that person?
I am Stephen, son of George, of the family Vessel.
Alright, well that's, are you satisfied by the department that this is Stephen Robert Vessel we have been talking today?
I am satisfied, Your Honour.
Alright.
Can the prosecutor prosecutor goes to the left hand onto the right side of the shoulder of Stephen Dismissal.
What would you like me to do that?
Well, we're all dealing in fiction here, are we not?
I don't think so.
This is a court of admiralty, is it not?
No.
So we're dealing in common law then, jurisdiction.
This Magistrates Court of Queensland, Mr. Vessel.
Yep.
I'm a duly appointed magistrate of the Magistrates Court of Queensland. I exercise jurisdiction.
So you got your written commission and your bonding agreement and your oath?
The jurisdiction I exercise in this instance is pursuant to the Justices Act and pursuant to the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act. Now you're charged with an offence.
Which is all amnesty common law.
You're charged with an offence under the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act, and as it's what's known as summary offence.
Yeah, summary jurisdiction, which means you need the consent of the person to be able to prosecute the person.
No, that's not the case, Mr. Vessel.
Well, it is, are you not bound by high court rules?
Mr. Vessel, can you stop talking over the...
No, well not until you produce your written commission and your bonding agreement and your oath.
I'm not doing any of those things, Mr.
So then you're obviously not on oath then. So you're not appointed duly as the...
I am going to conduct this hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Justices Act of 1886, which is the...
So you're going to defy God's law, are you?
to apply the law of Queensland.
The law of Queensland, which is not God's law.
Okay,
You're defying God's
just
temple.
listen carefully, Mr. Vessel.
I'm
My
not
name is
listening.
Stephen Robert Vessel.
No.
You are the person who is known by that name and you're calling for Now you're charged that on the 30th day of July 2013 at Flinders View, you drove a motor vehicle, namely a motor car on a road named Whitehall Road, Flinders View, not being at the time the holder of a driver's licence authorising you to drive that vehicle on that road, and at the time of committing the offence, you were disqualified from holding or retaining a driver's licence because of the allocation of merit. Charge goes on to say, and it is observed that the said motor car is the motor vehicle as defined in Schedule 4 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act 1995, and it is observed that the said Whitehall Road is the road as defined in Schedule 4 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act 1995, and it is observed that July 2013, you were not the holder of a driver's licence authorised to drive that vehicle.
Because I'm not a driver for hire, I'm not bound to have a set licence because that is purely commerce, and I'm not bound in commerce.
Do you understand the charge?
No, I do not.
Alright. What do you understand about the charge, Mr. Wilson?
Absolutely everything. I stand over the charge.
What does that mean?
It means exactly that. I'm not bound by any corporate legislation of any kind that is designed to try and get me to breach the commandments of God, which I cannot be forced to do.
Alright. Well, do you plead? How do you plead to the charge? Guilty or not?
I cannot plead because I cannot plead before false gods.
Well, all the plead not guilty.
You cannot take a plea as a high court case of cable versus cable. Also, in jurisdictions, you need the consent of the party to be able to enter a plea. I do not give you such plea, though not giving the power of attorney to enter such pleas.
Now, the hearing will proceed today,
Objection.
Mr. Vessel, and I'll explain to you how the hearing will proceed. You can participate in the hearing if you wish, or not if you don't. That's your choice. The charge, as I said, is a charge that I've read out to you. It's a charge pursuant to Section 78 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act.
Is this a criminal charge or a civil charge?
This criminal charge,
So where's the corpus delicti?
you're talking nonsense. Mr.
I'm not talking nonsense. How's that nonsense? For a criminal matter, you need a corpus delicti, which is an injured party. And who is the injured party?
Mr. Vessel, you are charged with an offence pursuant to the laws of the State of Queensland that I am bound to apply.
So you're breaching the temple of God then, are you?
Well, I'm not sure on that matter, Mr. Vessel. It's your opinion, but I'll continue to proceed pursuant to my...
You have been verbally warned too in the applications that are before you that if you continue to go and do so such without producing your written commission, your bonding agreement and your oath, you will be placed with a lien on your personal or commercial liability.
All right. Well, Mr. Vessel, the charge is pursuant to Section 78 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act. That section provides that a person must not drive a motor vehicle on the road unless the person holds the driver's
You said
license.
person, I'm that person.
The person to drive that vehicle on that road.
As per the Bible states, you cannot have a second person, but I can state. Trigonometry 1:17. Acts 10:34 and 35. Cannot have respect to persons as gods, that is breaching of God's commandments. I can keep going on if I wish. I've got them all written out here.
Alright, well there's no need
Exodus
to
20.
there's absolutely no relevance to this.
That has every single relevance. You're bound by the Bible.
Stop and listen. Subsection 3 of section 78 talks about
Still
whether you are
commercial law.
qualified from holding or obtaining a driver's license because of the allocation from Mr. Bessel. The prosecution brings the charge, and is obliged to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. And they will attempt to do that by calling witnesses. Now, I take it you've been provided with a brief of evidence?
Yeah, and the brief of evidence all states that the said laws that they're relying on have not had royal assent from her queen, and everything else. And it's all scrupulous and all lies.
All right, well, we'll get to that, Mr. Bessel. We're at this stage explaining to the trial process. So the essential elements of the charge here, Mr. Bessel, are that on the 30th of July 2013 at Flinders View, the prosecution has to prove that Stephen Robert Bessel was driving a motor vehicle on a road being Whitehill Road, Flinders View, and that at the time they were not told that the driver's license authorising to drive that vehicle on that road. And for the circumstances of aggravation, being demerit point suspended, they also have to prove that at the time of committing the offence, you were disqualified from holding or obtaining your driver's licence because of the allocation of demerit points. There are 3 amendments in the charge. 1 in relation to the motor car being a motor vehicle as defined. 1 in relation to Whitehill Road being a road as defined. And in the significant one to you being that on the 30th of July you were not the holder of a driver's licence. Pursuant to section 124 of the Transport Operation and Road Use Management Act, an averment in the charge is conclusive evidence of those matters stated, unless evidence in rebuttal is called. So what that means is that the charge, there's no need for the prosecution to call evidence that the motor car in question was a motor vehicle pursuant to the Act, the road was a road pursuant to the Act.
I can actually prove otherwise it's not, because it's actually underneath my estate. And I've got a non-conscientious will here that needs to be deposited into here. We should talk about that. We've got a decent tool, trusty on tool here that we're looking at. You can ask me all you like. You have no authority to sit there and speak until you produce your written commission and your bonding agreement on your own.
Well, as I've already said, Mr. Bessel,
I'm not Mr. and Master.
I'm doing this for the magistrate.
Well, then prove it. Go to my ID and show us
I'm not
that.
required to do that, Mr. Bessel.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're required to produce your written commission, bonding agreement and your oath.
All right, now.
So, in other words, you don't actually have the said authority to sit there on that bench.
Well, if you don't believe that, Mr. Bessel, that's entirely an act view. I will continue to conduct this hearing as I'm.
So you're continuing forward and I cannot participate in fraud.
Well, that's your choice, Mr. Bessel. But as I said, I will continue to conduct this hearing pursuant to the provisions of Justice Act. If you wish to participate, you may. If you don't, participate. And that can be dealt with in your absence. If you decide you don't wish to participate, it's entirely up to you. Now, as I've said, the onus is on the prosecution to prove the charge. I've explained to you what the verdicts and the charge means. And may have some certificates to tender. You will have the opportunity to cross-examine any of the witnesses called by the prosecution. The purpose of cross-examination is to ask questions, relevant questions, and put propositions to those witnesses. There is a rule of law which requires that if you wish to give evidence or full evidence which contradicts what the prosecution witness is saying, you must put that proposition to the witness to allow the witness to comment on it. This gives the witness the opportunity to respond, and the failure to put a matter to a witness may result in the disregarding your evidence. In other words, if you don't have the opportunity to challenge the witness on something that the witness has said that you disagree with, I might be entitled to think that you don't disagree with what the witness has said. All right, now do you have a pen to take notes if you wish to do so?
No.
You've been provided with a brief of evidence, you've got copies of the statements.
Yep.
So we can provide you with a pen, Mr. Bessel. Now, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me at this stage, Mr. Dismissal?
Well, I pretty much stated some of the questions that I'd like to find out exactly what jurisdiction you're under. Civil or criminal?
It's criminal jurisdiction, it's magistrate court of Queensland, it's a proceeding under the Justices Act. For an offence against Section 78 of the Transport Operations Regulations.
And has that said act had royal assent?
It is a valid act of the Queensland Parliament, therefore it applies to you and every other.
It doesn't actually apply to me, I'm not a citizen, I'm a national. And then when you get into the things of martial law and use of craft.
Well, you can.
And equity overrules use of craft, and I've already stated I've got my non-functioning interest will, and I'm actually depositing in.
Well, as I've already said,
Which is actually written in the Bible.
Proceeding under the provisions of the Bible.
To get to the SQV trust.
Right. So, anything else apart from that, Mr. Vincent?
Let's proceed then, eh?
Right. How long have you?
One witness, one short recorder, Your Honour. Certificate and the relevant.
Yes, well, when you're ready. Have a seat, Mr. Vincent.
That's alright, I'll like to stand, thanks.
Well, I prefer it if you sat, Mr. Vincent.
That's okay, you can put it all you like, I'd like to stand. I haven't given you jurisdiction in any of this so far.
When you're here, Mr. Vincent, you're participating.
I'm here on special appearance. Thank you.
Call Adam Keith Hooper. Thank you. Please tell the court the full correct name, rank and current station.
Constable of Police, registration number 19780, and I'm currently attached to the Ipswich Road Police.
Recall Tuesday the 30th of July 2013. You're dealing with the defendant on that day. How long did the court those dealings with, please?
On the day I was told about the Manto Flinders View rescue area. I was driving a unmarked Holden Maroon Commodore. I was conducting patrols on the west of the wreck. Observed a white Holden Commodore past me. I was unable to lock the speed on the vehicle at that time, so I conducted a U-turn and an attempt to catch up with the vehicle and lock the speed. I observed the vehicle's registration at that time to be 095 Golf Zulu Kilo. I've entered that registration behind the vehicle. I observed that the vehicle's registered owner was a male and his license is currently unsuspended as of the 15th of 2013 to the 14th of the 8th, 2013.
What time was that about?
6:45.
Did you intercept that vehicle?
Intercepted the vehicle on South White Hill Road, just south of the intersection of Edward Street.
And how many people were in that vehicle?
The defendant was driving the vehicle and the female passenger. Prior to taking up with the defendant, I activated my vehicle recorder. Recorded the entire conversation I had with the defendant.
Alright, just have a look at this fine. Tell the court what that item is of your handwriting.
That's a copy of the recording, the voice recording that I made.
Seek to play that recording.
Have you heard that, Mr. Bessel?
Yeah, so there.
I may proceed to the claim.
30th of the 7th, 2013, 098. License number 72872766, user ID 19780. Go ahead. Yeah, it's good. I booked on this afternoon. Yeah, received. So you just told me his traffic history, including when his last ticket was. What's his traffic history like? Yeah, received all of it.
recording is having fun.
I wasn't instructed it was only a few minutes. Actually, just stop it.
If we could just let it go for you a bit, Your Honour, there was actually a part when we came back to Collins.
That's what I'm back to the only portions of the recording that I would have regard to is the conversations with you. Seems to be conversations with the other police that are not admissible against you, and I would be disregarding those conversations. So, can you just clarify with me what the referred to?
Yes, Your Honour, at the moment, I'm just waiting for security in the vehicle.
All right, but much of what I've just heard was not in the presence of Mr. Bethel, was it? So, a small portion of conversation at the beginning, and then when you go and speak on the radio asking for us, and you check that, was that? All right, so I'll disregard anything that happened after that. All right, well, is there much more of this silence that we have to sit through? No? All right, well, we'll play the rest of that. Indicate to you, Mr. Bessel, that nothing that's said out of your presence in that conversation is anything I'll have regard to, only the conversation that the officer had with you. All right? So we'll more after that?
Now, witness, we just heard what appears to be final or the closing conversation you had with the defendant. Is there anything else on that recording you had a conversation with the defendant? Extend it. Recording on.
One.
At this point, I'll tender a certificate under the hand of Catherine Ella Louise Bowman, Senior Advisor, Service Management.
Objection? No. The objection is on the 30th of July. I had a client, Renee Johnson from the fraud squad actually contacted myself on the 30th of July, and I can give you the QP number, which is QP 1300 802424, and she just disclosed to me over the phone that she caught a person of unknown identity to myself that had been had driver's licences, Medicare cards and all that in every single state of Australia that was involved in some sort of international fraud racketeering his ID of myself.
How is that
Because the certificate is saying that I didn't have a license at the time. My objection is that I got my license back on the 14th of the 5th, 2013, and then the very next day, without any prior written warning or anything like that, on the 15th of the 5th, 2013, my license was suspended when I hadn't committed no offences or anything prior to that. I had no outstanding demerit points or any fines outstanding when I went into the Transport Department where I actually paid to do my driving test with a driving school, and prior to actually paying and handing all the money over, I asked if I had any prior outstanding convictions or any outstanding demerit points, and I was told no.
All right, well that might be a separate issue, Mr. Bear, rather than it actually affecting the admissibility of the certificate. It might be evidence that you want to lead in relation to what weight I might place on the information that's in that certificate.
Fair enough.
All right, the certificate's actually possible potentially under the Act, but the effect of what's contained in the certificate might be open to question that you want to support. Okay, so I'll accept the certificate. As I said, your issue might be about what weight I might give to the information in the certificate, or what evidentiary value I place on it as opposed to it being
Certificate under the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act 1995. Relevant sections are listed there that it refers to. Also tendered the affidavit in relation to the delegation for that certificate. This follows the delegation.
I suppose I would like to say objection to it. There is no first-hand knowledge of the subject matter at question here from this Catherine Bowman.
Well, the Transport Operations Road Use Management Act Section 124 gets around that by providing that certificates under the hand of the Chief Executive or others are admissible to provide evidence of certain things. So just give me a moment to read what I've got here. service management. Senior advisor service management security.
Did it say wrong?
How it reads in this delegation. Right, now there seems to be an affidavit from you, Mr. Bessel.
No, it should be.
I think you want to hand it down accidentally.
Oh, I thought it was-
That's you.
That's the back of the file.
Alright, so the instrument of delegation goes into group 24 of the Transport Operations Readiness Management Act. So the certificate and the accompanying instrument of delegation is this. The certificate says that on the 30th of July at 18:45 hours there was no enforced driver's licence issued under the Transport Operations Readiness Management Act to Stephen Robert Bessel, and that on the 30th of July 2013 at 18:45 the driver's licence 728-72766 held by Stephen Robert Bessel was suspended as a result of the accumulation of merit points, and that the suspension was applied for a period of 3 months effective on and from the 15th of May 2013 expiring on the 14th of August 2013. Alright, yes?
Oh, sorry, you're right. That's the evidence sheet. I jumped the gun there. That's the evidence sheet.
Who was the person who talked to for the website? Yes, now, Mr. Bessel, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Are you aware of Executive Order 100? Are you aware of the Lever Code?
Sorry?
Of the Lever Code?
No.
No? Are you aware that we're in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy at the moment? Are you aware of the crown that you serve?
The relevance of the questions.
It's very relevant, Your Honour.
Before the court.
Mr. Bessel, the purpose of cross-examination is to ask relevant questions.
This is a very relevant matter.
Well, I'll allow you some time to hear, but it's not about no bearing on the right.
Well, he might not be aware that he's serving an occupying force and not actually being loyal to his crown. So it's kind of a little bit irrelevant. Then he'll be acting in the capacity of a military.
That's a complete nonsense, Mr. Bessel.
I can actually prove you the Lever Code and the Executive Order 100 that came into force in Australia in 1923.
It's completely.
So got Whitlam as nuisance as well, was it?
So ask relevant questions, Mr. Bessel. You may well have some relevant questions to ask. You have some issues in relation to this matter that might be worthwhile asking.
Okay. When you contacted your police plant to get information about the supposable licence in question here, and you got 72 hits, did you decide to maybe ask comms what those 72 hits might have been?
I found it unnecessary to.
Why did you find that unnecessary to?
The license check that I've done was on yourself. Okay, if there is, and of your age, 72 or 78 hits, I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Now, when you came back to the car and told me that the said licence in question was apparently suspended with demerit points. Did you not hear oneself say that he had not had any indication or any notice that the said licence was suspended?
Yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, did you not think to maybe go back and maybe contact Comms to find out the relevant tips then, maybe?
They wouldn't be able to inform you if you receive relevant correspondence from Queensland Transport. They wouldn't be able to tell me that.
And you just decided to make a legal distinction that it wouldn't be worth investigating further.
Our communications have been with Queensland Transport.
Objection, Your Honour, non-responsive. Yes or no answer would have been suffice. Did he make a legal distinction not to contact Comms to investigate further when there's speculation and reasonable doubt in question here as to the relevant licence in question? Very well. I suppose then you decided to make a legal distinction to bring it before the court for the matter to be heard when there's serious doubt into the legitimacy of a licence.
No, I have no doubt.
Did you not think it was strange yourself that if someone just received their full licence back on the 14th of the 5th, 2013 and lost the very next day?
Outstanding matters that haven't been dealt with, and they have Queensland Transport has no way of contacting that person. If you would
Intended as such. Now in your affidavit, it says here that you were driving an unmarked car, is that correct? Now, before you intercepted the car, did you not put on your emergency lights? Can I ask the witness what the emergency might have been?
emergency lights are used to intercept vehicles, and subsequently I intercepted your vehicle.
So does it not state in the, pretty sure it's the police prosecution powers, I forgot which subsection, that the lights may only be used in the case of emergency?
How are vehicles intercepted?
Well, for a vehicle to be intercepted, it's got to be able to be committing a crime of such, and it has been deemed in a high court case just recently that you're not subjected to any, not obliged to actually stop. Very well then. Still, the question is that there was no emergency then on the day, was it? Is this correct? Objection, Your Honour, non-responsive again. So, I asked for a responsive answer, just yes or no would be suffice. Was there an emergency on the night in question? Can you please state what that emergency was? I don't think that's very suffice for an emergency. Was there any injury or harm or loss that might have been? Was there an injured party present? No. Very well then. Now, in your affidavit, you said you noticed me speeding correctly. Now, is this just your personal belief, or did you have some sort of speed measure device in the car? Did you manage to obtain a lock on the vehicle?
I did.
What speed was I travelling at?
71.
Do you have proof of this?
I did that for time.
Why is this not submitted into court then? You said that in your verbal submission you were unable to obtain a lock on the car.
I believe that you were travelling much faster than 71, that the speed I had was 71, and I believe if I conducted the U-turn and called back up to you, I would attain a speed that was consistent with my earlier observations.
Objection, Your Honour. I strike any further submissions from the witness contradicting. Saying one first that he did not obtain a lock on the device, and later saying that he did obtain a lock on the device.
I decided in due course whether I accept or not the evidence of the witness.
Fair enough. That'll be all for the witness.
I'm sure you've asked all the questions you'd like.
Just let me quickly check the... I don't believe I actually got an affidavit of Mr. Cooper. Sorry. So in paragraph 4, or number 4 of the affidavit, you said you tried to conduct a U-turn to see if you could obtain a speed of the vehicle. So I put it towards you that it is a belief that you think that I was travelling a quickly direction. When I put it to you that I actually was going through a roundabout when you tried to turn around and come past me, because I was not travelling at such speed. But I think that's all.
You're not charged with speeding, Vessel, you're charged with driving unlicensed subject to the demerit point suspension, so there's no charge of speeding before me.
Yeah, that's fair enough, Your Honour. It's just relevant, I suppose, to do with the affidavit that's submitted here, that he was just trying to rebut all the presumptions here in this affidavit, saying that I was speeding when I wasn't.
Well, the presumptions that you need to be concerned about running the car, the road is the road, the vehicle is the vehicle.
Okay.
Any questions about those? No?
Can you determine what a vehicle is?
Well, he doesn't have to, Mr. Vessel, because the charge states that the motor car was a vehicle as defined in the Act, so he doesn't have to.
That's defined in the Act, which
He doesn't
means...
have to, the witness isn't obliged to
Okay,
provide
fair enough. It's a road, yeah, well... I don't really know. It's... All my evidence is mainly the fact that I was never informed that I had lost my suspension of my licence, and then I got contacted by the fraud squad about someone using a driver's licence in every single state and territory in Australia. And mine said no. It's not really to do with the witness that question here. It's not. He's really done no wrong or erred. He's done no error, really. It's mainly the Transport Department's computer system mainly that I've got the issue with. So I'll let those excuse it.
So did you do the examination
On the basis of the defendant erroneously indicated case for prosecution, would appear that he's challenging the validity of the certificate. I'm prepared to, if Your Honour's minded, we can have a person give telephone evidence from the Department of Transport. It would appear that that is what he's.
Would you like to cross-examine the person from the Department of Transport?
That's what it is.
I suppose I can cross-examination someone from the transport, but do they have a record of this said fraud at the moment?
Well, that's not a question I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
I'm not sure what will. I mean, I suppose I can, but I don't know if that's going to be really relevant because I suppose I can have some relevance if the lady has done any background checks or is she just looked at the system and see if the license is suspended at the day. At the time. My main issue is that my affidavit is never rebutted throughout any of this stages, and is it not a maximum of law that silence is acquiescence?
Well, I don't have any affidavit, Mr. The reason for that is that I decide the case. I'm obliged to decide this case only on the evidence that is hearing. There's no private communication either with the prosecution or with you, so I don't get provided with statements. For example, and I also,
I had it in my...
I decide the case only on the evidence today, so I don't know what discussions you may or may not have already had about this problem or this issue.
I submitted just the other day, both the prosecutor and the
You
cell.
might have submitted something, but I don't read
Okay.
unless you're making a sort of application before that I can rule on, such as an application for an adjournment or an application for other matters.
Well, I would like to have a permanent stay in proceedings until such time as I can. I'm trying to subpoena the information from Renee Johnson about the QP number, and I've also been trying to subpoena the records from Transport Department in regards to this fraud and what has actually happened on my said name.
I'm trying to take a morning tea break. Probably the prosecutor can make some inquiries through this Q crime number and give you the information. Is that true?
I can certainly arrange for the Q-crime record that's been generated. I can't interpret too much of it. I can assist Mr. Beale with what it means. But as I said, the prosecution hasn't closed their case. In the circumstances, he's unrepresented. I will indicate that I'm going to make some arrangements during the adjournment to get someone from Transport on the telephone.
Well, what about this Q crime number?
The Q-crime report will whatever Q-crime report has been generated, that's the information an individual person.
Is that something that you're trying to get hold of?
Yeah, I'm trying to get hold because when Renee contacted me, she said Renee Johnson's from the fraud squad in Brisbane.
Right.
She contacted me on the 30th of July by telephone, and she said that this person had pictures of me, all my family addresses, and it's kind of a bit eerie, really. And then she said that he had Medicare cards and driver's license and all that in my name. So, and she said it's been an investigation for us.
Investigate that. I'll take a morning tea break, all right? We'll say 20 minutes, and we'll resume in 20 minutes' time, and we'll
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Don't worry about these handwritten things. Okay, this is your history as I have it.
Yep.
Now there is, he's only printed one. You have actually 2 track histories. That is not unusual.
Okay.
Believe me, it's not unusual because what happens, still comes on the same number, everything else, but now they have, it's a long involved way. On the other one, I'll go and grab it. You have a look at this for the moment.
Yep.
As I said, don't worry about that. What this here,
Yep.
we did some inquiries with Spur. You've got a debt of just about $6,000, or just under, that you're paying off.
Yep.
You're paying a thing off a spur.
Apparently, yeah.
Well, I mean, do you have money coming into your bank account every...
No.
You don't?
No.
So you're not paying any money to spur?
Not that I know of, no. This is what I'm saying, this whole thing is kind of all confusing. Because I've been trying to get because what I wanted to do is get my traffic history from Transport Department, traffic history from the police, and traffic history from Spur.
Well, traffic history from all three is the same.
Is it?
Yeah. It's printed a different way.
Yep.
Okay. We print ours this way, Transport print theirs one way, and Spur don't actually have traffic history.
Okay.
But their information's printed a different way.
Yep.
These all, there's a central computer, which is Transport, they own the records. We link to that.
Well, Transport actually go and send it off down to Nevdes, and Nevdes go and register it on the PPSR.
Yeah, no, just hang on. Which road?
Yep.
You telling me you haven't been to jail?
Nope.
You got much work on?
Yeah, I'm working up at Dysart.
That's a great place, Dice. I love it.
Working on Warrnambool mine, doing expansion up there.
Oh, yeah. Big job, too.
Yeah. Some people should be for the end of the year, I think.
Yeah? What are you flying, 7 on, 7 off?
No, drive up.
Thank you, Your Honour. I know we've taken a bit more time, but there's a number of matters I've gone through with the defendant through the Q-Crime report, the general report. There's a number of issues in there. Another person has been arrested for using some false identification with the name of this defendant. In relation to the driver's licence, it was a New South Wales driver's licence, but that's, just put that to one side for a moment. Another issue that's been raised is quite pointed straight to the matters we're here for today. There are some matters that the defendant has indicated that are in contest, that are on his actual history, that have brought about the proceedings for today. They're matters and that could very well have been dealt with ex parte in the court without the defendant's present. The issues that have related to that would probably need to be looked at just a little bit further, Your Honour. In essence, I suppose in fairness, it's a matter that perhaps the trial should be either part heard, adjourned at the moment, so further inquiries can be made by the defendant. I understand he's going to make some inquiries, but certainly the prosecution will make the prosecutional inquiries. They can't be done today. We tried to do that today. Transport wheels are just a little bit slower than normal.
Well, Mr. Vessel's unrepresented.
He is.
And he's. I'm obviously concerned not to make any decisions or orders today that are prejudicial to him. Are you saying that there are matters in the investigation that might be investigated that might assist Mr. Vessel's case?
Yes, they may very well assist his case. I don't know until we go through them. He's told me certain things that haven't really impinged on the conduct of the trial, I will say this. But I think in fairness, we should probably look at some of those matters that he's raised, and that may or may not.
Well, I think in fairness to Mr. Vessel, the prosecution should close its case, should you not, today? There's the evidence rebuttal evidence, isn't it, in terms of some of the prima facie assumptions that can be made through the certificates and the charge itself.
Well,
It's rebuttal evidence that I'm thinking is what's...
it's not necessarily rebuttal evidence. We've already been foreshadowed with what the difficulties are, and having said that, if there's some challenge to the actual gravamen of the offending, which is that the history that has generated this sanction.
What, as I understand it, that whether or not, as a matter of factual law, the records show that Mr. Bessel's licence is demerit point suspended, the issue is that Mr. Bessel's raised something that suggests it should not have been suspended.
That is so.
Rather than there being an issue in whether or not the record itself says his licence is suspended. The licence may well be suspended regardless, but if it's suspended on wrong information or some by mistake, that's the issue. Am I correct?
Well, it's...
All right. What do you want to do? Now that you have the opportunity to try to find out some further. Do you want an adjournment?
I'd like to know if they're discharged, to be quite honest.
Well, that's the difficulty is that there's potentially evidence, and of course as I said to you, the charge itself, and this might seem strange to you, but the charge itself, by way of the averment saying that you were not the holder of the driver's licence, that's evidence that you were not the holder of the driver's licence unless there's evidence to the contrary. And from what I can gather, that's what you're wanting to look at.
Yes,
and you've been constantly embraced being heard.
Yeah.
Is that your complaint?
Yes. There was also another issue too that the prosecution just made me aware that the speeding fine that was conducted by my wife, which was actually sent in by staff declaration, is again another error on the system. Again, it hasn't been haven't received any sort of communication from police and the traffic office. I rang up the traffic office, the camera officer, to find out what's happening with it. They said they'd received it and it was going to get removed off my record, and yet it's still on there again. So I'm just a bit bewildered by the way this whole system is kind of being conducted at the moment.
I'm not in a position to dismiss the charge today. The difficulty is that I have to consider it on the evidence that's before me, and as I've said, you might be at a disadvantage in that because there are some things that you're wanting to investigate. I don't know. I can't give you legal advice. Mr. Bessel, unfortunately, and I'm relying in some way, obviously, on what the conversation had with you, and making some assumptions that there might be some information that may benefit you in having an adjournment. But I can't guarantee you that that's the case, obviously. I can't say that by all means an adjournment will solve everything for you. But the difficulty with me dealing with it today is that I deal with it on the material that's before me, and that might not be to your advantage, particularly as I said, just by way of the charge itself, it contains an averment which the law says is evidence without evidence, rebuttal evidence to the contrary, and that should be the evidence that you want to get. So it's up to you, Mr. Bessel. As I said, I can't give you legal advice, but it does sound as though that you have some legitimate avenues to explore, and it does certainly appear that perhaps, and it might be because of other sometimes Mr. Bessel can provide large quantities of information that you have, or large documents and affidavits that it's difficult to find the real issue that you've got. You might actually have a real issue to be addressed, and that if I'm correct in understanding what you said, so I want Mr. Bethel to
I'm just assessing the moment. In the circumstances, it's not the worst matter that could come before the court. The prosecution's going to seek for the matter to be dismissed as of this moment.
All right, you want me to dismiss it, you're offering no evidence?
Offering no evidence, ask for the matter to be dismissed.
All right. Mr. Bethel, you've been dealt with very fairly by the police prosecutor in this matter, and so the prosecution offered no evidence, further evidence against you, and has asked that I dismiss the charge against you. They're effectively withdrawing the charge. So the charge is dismissed, and you are discharged. You may still need to do something about the other problems that you've got, but you've, as far as this charge is concerned, it's over and done with. All right? So you're free to go.
Thank you, mate.